Today, we're not just going to talk about a singer. Now, we're diving deep into the very idea of timeless fame itself, and we're going to do it through the life of one person who was, well, a true phenomenon, Michael Jackson. Okay, just picture this. You're in a stadium with, 100,000 other people, and all of a sudden, complete darkness, total silence, the kind of quiet that's so deep it's almost deafening. And then you see it. Just a single point of light cutting through all that black. It's not a big spotlight or anything. It's smaller. It's a sequined glove. And in that one instant, every single person there knows exactly who is on that stage. No question. Then he moves. He just glides backward, like he's defying the laws of physics. And that one simple step, backwards, somehow becomes this massive leap forward for music, for dance, for culture. He's not just performing, he's literally rewriting the rulebook right in front of our eyes. So yeah, this is the story of how a kid from Gary, Indiana became the actual rhythm that the entire planet danced to. I mean, think about it. He wasn't just a star. He was this constant, thrumming pulse that we all felt.
So how on earth does that even happen? Well, it all kicks off in a small town, with a foundation built not really on dreams, but on something much tougher: sheer, unrelenting discipline.
Get this, he's born in 1958, and by the time he's only 5 years old, he's basically a pro. 5. There was no gentle start, no easing into it. It was just boom, he's on stage. And with the Jackson 5, that voice of his wasn't just good, it was like a force of nature that made the whole country and then the whole world just stop and listen. And this right here, this is so important to understand. In the Jackson house, music wasn't just for fun. It wasn't some artsy hobby. It was a job. It was their ticket. It was survival. And that intense, high-pressure environment is exactly what forged one of the greatest performers who ever lived. So you've got this incredible trade-off, right? On one hand, any chance at a normal childhood just disappears. But on the other hand, something totally extraordinary takes its place. You get this performer who, at a ridiculously young age, could channel these really deep emotions. We're talking pain, joy, soul, into his voice, into his every move. Okay, so from that child prodigy, a king was about to rise. And this next part of the story, it's not just about making hit songs. No, it's about completely changing the game, about redefining what a pop star could even be. And this is where his whole mindset just levels up. See, fame is fleeting, right? It's about being on magazine covers this month. Immortality, that's something else entirely. That's about weaving yourself so deeply into the fabric of culture that you can never ever be forgotten. That was the real goal. And this was the tool he used to do it. Just one album. Before Thriller, Michael Jackson was a huge superstar. After Thriller, he was a permanent part of our world. I mean, the Thriller effect was like a cultural earthquake. Suddenly music videos weren't just cheap ads for a song. They were epic short films. Dance wasn't just moves, it was storytelling. A single backward slide became pure magic. And maybe the biggest deal of all, he was so good, so popular, that he forced MTV to break its own color barrier. They had to play his videos. And in doing so, they changed the entire music industry, forever. So after that, pretty much everyone, from Madonna to Usher to Beyoncé, they were all following the blueprint that he created. He wasn't just part of the trend. You guys, he was the trend. But when you reach a level of fame that no human has ever really experienced before, well, that comes with a heavy price. The view from the absolute top is one of a kind, but man, can it be lonely.
Just try to imagine it for a second. You're the most famous person on the entire planet. Every single thing you do is watched, analyzed, and all that love from billions of strangers, it can't replace a real connection. In fact, pretty soon, that adoration probably starts to feel more like a cage. And this created this huge split. You had the public Michael, the spectacle, the icon, this thing the world felt it owned. And then you had the private Michael, a man who was desperately searching for peace, trying to build a place like Neverland to literally rebuild the childhood that the spectacle had cost him. And that's the great, tragic paradox of his life, isn't it? The very thing that made him immortal, that timeless fame he wanted so badly, it became this crushing weight that just slowly ate away at him. So, what happens when a force of nature that powerful is gone? Well, it doesn't just vanish into thin air, it transforms. And this last part of our story is all about how that light keeps on shining.
I bet a lot of you remember exactly where you were when you heard the news. It wasn't just another celebrity passing. It was a global moment. The internet practically broke. TV channels dropped everything. It really felt like a piece of our shared history just disappeared. But here's the crazy thing. He didn't disappear. His music didn't get quieter. If anything, it got louder. The echo of what he did is literally everywhere. You see it in how artists perform today. You hear it at weddings and parties all over the world. It never went away. Which brings us right back to the big idea here. What is timeless fame? It's not about how many Grammys you have on your shelf. It's about how many people you made dance. It's about the barriers you knocked down. It's all about the impact you leave behind. And that's the ultimate question, right? When the person is gone, how does the legend actually keep living, not as a memory, but as a real thing, right now?
Well, the answer is kind of beautiful, really. He lives on in the most basic parts of being human. He lives on anytime someone feels joy just from moving to a beat. He lives on whenever music helps someone feel better. And he lives on anytime someone dreams of doing something that feels totally impossible.
And that's it. That's why Michael Jackson is still here. He's not just a memory we look back on. He's an active force, an inspiration, a timeless light that's still shining.
If you like this video, subscribe for more videos like this.